Listen up, girl. You ghetto nurses need to know your place. Fetch coffee, empty bedpans, and keep your mouth shut. Dr. Marcus Williams' hand flew across Maya Thompson's face with brutal force. Her head snapped sideways. The packed emergency room at Mercy General fell into stunned silence. 50 witnesses stared in horror as chaos erupted. But Maya just smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. Listen up, girl. You ghetto nurses need to know your place. Fetch coffee, empty bedpans, and keep your mouth shut. Dr. Marcus Williams's hand flew across Maya Thompson's face with brutal force. Her head snapped sideways. The packed emergency room at Mercy General fell into stunned silence. Before Maya could recover, his expensive Italian shoe connected with her supply cart, sending it careening across the linoleum floor. Medical equipment exploded everywhere. Syringes, bandages, medication scattering like debris from a car crash. The 26-year-old black nurse stood frozen, a vivid red handprint blooming across her dark cheek. 50 witnesses stared in horror. Phones emerged from pockets, fingers hitting record. Maya's eyes remained locked on Dr. Williams, unnaturally calm despite the humiliation. She reached into her scrub pocket, fingers closing around something small and metallic. Around them, chaos erupted. Patients gasped. Staff whispered frantically, but Maya just smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. Have you ever witnessed someone make the biggest mistake of their career? The slap had started with something so simple. Maya suggesting a different treatment protocol. Dr. Williams, the patient's symptoms suggest acute pancreatitis. Perhaps we should consider— Did I ask for your opinion? Dr. Williams had snapped, not even looking up from his clipboard. You're a nurse. Stay in your lane. Maya kept her voice professional, steady. Patient safety requires input from the entire medical team. The labs show— Listen up, girl. You ghetto nurses need to know your place. Fetch coffee, empty bedpans, and keep your mouth shut. That's when his hand moved. Fast, vicious. The crack echoed through the emergency department like a whip. Now, 30 seconds later, the aftermath was already spiraling beyond control. Digital clock on the wall. 8:47 p.m. Maya's phone buzzed insistently in her pocket. 4 missed calls from the director's office. The emergency board meeting started in 13 minutes. Nursing student Jessica Martinez had her iPhone out, live streaming to Instagram. Oh my God, y'all. Did everyone just see that? This doctor just straight up slapped a nurse. This is Mercy General Hospital and I am shook. Mercy General abuse. Nurse abuse. This is not okay. The viewer count was climbing. 8:47, 1231, 191. An elderly patient's son had his Samsung Galaxy pointed directly at Dr. Williams. This is going straight to Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. That's assault, man. Straight up assault. Maya's cheek throbbed, but she stood perfectly still. Her modest navy scrubs concealed several interesting details. A vintage Cartier watch that had belonged to her grandmother. An heirloom worth more than most cars. A first-class United Airlines boarding pass in her pocket from Chicago to Boston dated 3 days ago, and tucked discreetly behind her hospital badge. A small Harvard School of Nursing alumni sticker. Class President 2023. Her employee badge, now slightly askew from the impact, showed something most people never bothered to read. A small 5-year service pin despite her young appearance. Maya. Honey, just apologize, whispered charge nurse Carmen Rodriguez, tugging at Maya's sleeve. He can make your life a living hell. Trust me, I've seen it happen. Dr. Sarah Carter, an attending physician, stepped closer but kept her voice low. Williams is connected to administration. Don't fight this. It's not worth your career. But other voices were rising. That nurse was just trying to help, called out Mrs. Garcia, a patient waiting for discharge. She didn't do anything wrong. Nursing student Jessica was still live streaming, her voice getting more animated. Y'all, this nurse Maya is literally the best nurse in this whole ER. She saved my patient yesterday when the doctors missed a drug interaction, and this is how they treat her. The viewer count hit 3,200. Security guard Morris Washington approached, his hand resting uncertainly on his radio. Dr. Williams, is everything okay over here? Need me to handle anything? Dr. Williams straightened his expensive tie, his voice carrying that familiar tone of authority. Just a minor disagreement about protocols, Morris. Nurse Thompson here forgot her place in the medical hierarchy. I haven't forgotten anything, Maya said quietly. Her voice was calm, but something in her tone made several people look twice. Dr. Williams's pager started beeping urgently. He glanced at it, then at the growing crowd of onlookers. Phones were everywhere now, recording, live streaming, uploading. 8:52 p.m., 8 minutes until the board meeting. Look, Dr. Williams said, raising his voice so everyone could hear. Nurses who don't respect physician authority endanger patients. It's that simple. There's a reason we have hierarchy in medicine. Dr. Peterson, another attending, nodded vigorously. Exactly right, Marcus. Can't have staff questioning medical decisions. Sets a dangerous precedent. Young resident Dr. Kim shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. The medical students behind Dr. Williams exchanged nervous glances. Maya's phone buzzed again. This time she glanced at the screen. Emergency board meeting. Where are you, Monsieur Thompson? She typed back quickly. Slight delay. We'll explain shortly. The response came immediately. Are you hurt? Security just reported an incident in the ER. Maya didn't reply. Instead, she looked around the emergency department, at the patients recording everything, at the staff members choosing sides, at Dr. Williams, who stood there smugly, completely unaware of what was about to unfold. Maya, Charge Nurse Rodriguez tried again. Please just apologize and let's move on. The shift ends in 2 hours. Actually, Maya said, her voice still unnaturally calm, I think we need to let this play out. Dr. Williams laughed harshly. Let what play out? You assaulted a physician. I never touched you, Maya interrupted. You challenged my medical authority in front of patients. That's professional assault. The live stream viewer count hit 4,100. Comments were flooding in faster than Jessica could read them. Call the police. Sue that doctor. This is 2024, not 1954. Where's hospital security? Someone tagged the news stations. 55 p.m., 5 minutes remaining. Maya reached into her scrub pocket, her fingers closing around the small metallic object, her employee keycard. But she didn't pull it out yet. Dr. Williams, she said quietly, I think you should know something. The only thing I need to know, he snapped, is that you're about to be looking for a new job. I'm calling administration right now. He pulled out his phone, started dialing. Maya watched him, that same knowing smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Around them, the emergency department had become a stage with 50-plus audience members holding cameras, waiting to see what happened next. Her phone buzzed one more time. Maya, the board is asking for you specifically. We're starting without you if necessary. J. Thompson. This time, Maya smiled openly. 8:58 p.m. 2 minutes until everything changed. Dr. Williams, she said, her voice carrying just far enough for the cameras to catch it. Before you make that call, you might want to ask yourself one question. He paused, finger hovering over his phone screen. What question? He demanded. Maya's smile widened just slightly. Are you absolutely sure you know who you just slapped? Dr. Williams froze, his finger still hovering over his phone screen. Something in Maya's tone made the hair on his neck stand up. What's that supposed to mean? He demanded, but his voice had lost some of its earlier confidence. Maya didn't answer. She simply pulled out her own phone and scrolled through her contacts, her movements deliberate and unhurried. 8:59 p.m., 1 minute until the board meeting. Hospital Administrator Patricia Webb came rushing through the automatic doors, her heels clicking rapidly on the linoleum. She'd obviously received multiple calls. Her face was flushed, her usually perfect hair slightly disheveled. What in God's name is happening down here? Webb demanded, surveying the chaos. Medical equipment still littered the floor. Phones were pointed in every direction. The live stream viewer count had climbed to 5,600. Patricia, thank goodness, Dr. Williams said, relief flooding his voice. This nurse physically assaulted me and is now making veiled threats. I need her removed immediately and charged with assault. Webb looked between Dr. Williams and Maya, her eyes lingering on the vivid handprint still visible on Maya's cheek. Dr. Williams, did you strike this employee? I defended myself against an aggressive subordinate who was undermining medical authority in front of patients. She got physical first. That's a lie, shouted Mrs. Garcia from her wheelchair. That doctor slapped her for no reason. 40 people got it on video. He called her ghetto and told her to know her place, added the patient's son, still recording. This is straight-up racism and assault. Webb's face went pale. She pulled out her tablet, fingers flying across the screen. Security Chief Martinez, please respond to the ER immediately. We have a code gray situation. Dr. Williams straightened his tie smugly. Finally, some proper authority. Within 30 seconds, Security Chief Tom Rodriguez came jogging down the hallway, followed by 2 additional guards. But instead of the relief Dr. Williams expected, Rodriguez looked genuinely worried. Miss Webb, Rodriguez said quietly, I need to speak with you privately. We've got a major problem. Handle the violent nurse first, Dr. Williams insisted. She's clearly unstable and making threats. Rodriguez glanced at Maya, then back at Webb. His face was pale. Ma'am, that's exactly what I need to discuss with you urgently. 9 p.m. Board meeting officially begins. Maya's phone rang. The ringtone was simple, but the name on the screen made Administrator Webb's tablet nearly slip from her hands. Dad calling, Dr. Williams scoffed. Oh, calling Daddy, how pathetic. Security. Please remove this disruptive individual. Maya answered calmly. Hi, Daddy. Yes, I'm still in the ER. There's been an interesting workplace incident. Dr. Williams's confident smirk began to fade. Daddy, he repeated, his voice suddenly uncertain. The emergency department had gone quiet except for the soft dings of social media notifications. Jessica's livestream viewer count hit 6,800. Comments flooding in faster than she could read them. No, I'm not seriously injured, Maya continued into the phone. But we definitely need to discuss hospital policies regarding workplace violence and racial harassment. Webb's tablet chimed with an urgent message. She glanced down, and the color drained completely from her face. She looked up at Maya, then at her tablet screen, then back at Maya. Oh no, she whispered. Oh no, no, no. Security Chief Rodriguez stepped closer to Webb. That's exactly what I was trying to tell you. The employee in question is what? Dr. Williams demanded, his voice rising to near hysteria. Would someone please explain what's happening? I'm the victim here. Charge nurse Carmen Rodriguez suddenly gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Maya Thompson. Wait, your last name is Thompson? As in… The pieces were falling into place for the nursing staff. But Dr. Williams was still oblivious. So what if her last name is Thompson? There are thousands of Thompsons. Are you all insane? Dr. Sarah Carter grabbed Dr. Williams's arm urgently. Marcus, stop talking right now. Just please stop talking. But Dr. Williams shook her off violently. No. I want this woman arrested for assault, making threats against a physician, and disrupting hospital operations. Young resident Dr. Kim whispered frantically. Dr. Williams, maybe we should what? Let nurses run the hospital? Let them attack doctors with impunity. The medical students behind Dr. Williams were frantically trying to delete their videos, but it was too late. The footage was already spreading across social media platforms. Maya ended her phone call and looked directly at Administrator Webb. Miss Webb, I believe you just received a message about the emergency board meeting. Webb nodded mutely, holding up her tablet. The message was visible to everyone nearby. From Director J. Thompson. Please confirm my daughter Maya is safe. Multiple incident reports suggest workplace violence in ER involving family members. Your daughter? Webb whispered, her voice barely audible. Dr. Williams snatched the tablet from Webb's hands, reading the message. His face cycled through confusion, disbelief, and growing horror. This is impossible, he stammered. This has to be some kind of sick joke. Thompson's daughter is a doctor in Boston. She doesn't work here. She's not a nurse. Actually, said Dr. Peterson nervously, I think I remember hearing something about Thompson's daughter working her way through graduate school. Shut up, Peterson, Dr. Williams screamed. You're all losing your minds. Maya pulled her employee badge from her scrubs and held it up. The plastic was slightly cracked from when she'd hit the ground, but the text was clearly readable. Maya Thompson Johnson, RN, MSN, Employee Dorso 1001, Director's Family. Employee number 1, Dr. Kim whispered. That's only assigned to immediate family members of senior administration. I was in Boston, Maya said calmly. Finished my master's in nursing administration at Harvard last month. Been working here 5 years while completing my degree nights and weekends. Dr. Williams was staring at the badge like it might transform into something else. But you're just a nurse. You can't be, this has to be fake. Someone's playing a prank. Dr. Williams, said Security Chief Rodriguez finally, I've been trying to tell everyone. Miss Thompson Johnson is listed in our system as a VIP protected family member. Any incidents involving her trigger automatic director notification and emergency protocols. The live stream comments were exploding. Plot twist of the century. That doctor is so dead. The director's daughter has been working as a nurse? Respect. Someone call the news stations. This is better than Netflix. 9:03 p.m., board meeting already underway. Maya's phone buzzed with a text. Conference room A now. Board Chairman Roberts wants a full incident report. Bring witnesses. Dr. Williams was beginning to hyperventilate. This can't be happening. James Thompson's daughter wouldn't work as a regular nurse. It doesn't make financial sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Maya asked, her voice still unnaturally calm. Because nursing is beneath a director's daughter? Because black women can't have educated families? The questions hung in the air like accusations. Young nursing student Jessica was still live streaming, her voice breathless with excitement. Y'all, this is absolutely unreal. Maya is literally the hospital director's daughter. and she's been working as a regular floor nurse for 5 years. This racist doctor just slapped the boss's daughter thinking she was just some ghetto nurse. Karma. Viewer count, 8,400 and climbing rapidly. Administrator Webb was frantically making calls. Legal department, emergency consultation needed? Yes, immediately. We have a situation involving the director's family. 9:05 p.m., 5 minutes late to the board meeting. Maya's phone rang again. This time she put it on speaker, and a deep, authoritative voice that everyone in administration recognized immediately filled the emergency room. Maya Elizabeth Thompson Johnson. Conference room A now, and bring whoever witnessed this incident. Yes, sir, Maya replied. I'll be there in 2 minutes. She hung up and looked around the emergency department. 50 pairs of eyes stared back at her. Phones were still recording. Dr. Williams looked like he might vomit. Dr. Williams, Maya said quietly, I think you should probably call your lawyer. Then she turned to Jessica, who was still live streaming. Would you mind coming upstairs with me? The board will want to hear from witnesses. As Maya walked calmly toward the elevators, her footsteps echoed in the suddenly silent emergency room. Behind her, absolute chaos erupted. Someone get our insurance company on the phone. How did we not know she was Thompson's daughter? 5 years. She's been documenting everything for 5 years. That live stream has 9,000 viewers. Dr. Williams just assaulted the director's daughter on camera. We are absolutely screwed. Dr. Williams sank into a nearby chair, his head in his hands, finally understanding the magnitude of his mistake. 9:06 p.m. The elevator doors closed behind Maya Thompson Johnson, daughter of hospital director James Thompson, Harvard-educated nurse administrator, and the woman who had just been publicly assaulted on live stream by a doctor who thought she was just some ghetto nurse. As the elevator climbed toward the executive conference room, Maya finally allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. The board meeting was about to get very interesting indeed. Maya Thompson Johnson wasn't just any nurse. Born into a legacy of medical excellence, her father, James Thompson, had risen from a humble resident to the director of Mercy General. Returning to her hometown, Maya approached her father with a bold proposal. Let her work at Mercy General as a regular floor nurse, undercover, without revealing her identity. I need to see the problems firsthand, Dad, she argued. If everyone knows I'm your daughter, they'll treat me with kid gloves. I want the truth. James hesitated, worried about her safety, but ultimately agreed, seeing the fire in her eyes. He assigned her employee 1001, a code reserved for family, but buried it in the system. For 5 years, Maya worked the ER night shifts, weekends, holidays. She earned her MSN in nursing administration online and through night classes at Harvard's extension program, commuting to Boston when needed. Her modest apartment, thrifted scrubs, and unassuming demeanor helped her blend in. But beneath it all, she was documenting everything. From day one, Maya kept meticulous records. A hidden app on her phone logged incidents. Subtle racism like, "You speak so well for a girl from the projects." She grew up in a mansion. Sexual harassment from residents who assumed she was available. And professional undermining, where nurses' inputs were dismissed as hysterical. She compiled spreadsheets, audio recordings, where legal, and even anonymous surveys from colleagues. Over 5 years, her database grew to 1,200 entries, cross-referenced with federal laws like Title VII and OSHA standards. She collaborated secretly with Harvard's Department of Social Medicine on a longitudinal study about discrimination in healthcare. Posing as a regular nurse allowed her to capture authentic data. No filters, no performances. It's not about revenge, she confided in her journal. It's about reform. Hospitals heal bodies, but they break spirits. That ends with evidence. Her double life wasn't easy. Maya sacrificed social events, sleep, and sometimes her dignity. She wore her grandmother's Cartier watch as a talisman, a reminder of her roots. Her grandmother had been a civil rights activist who funded Maya's education. The first-class flights to Boston were her only luxury, hidden in her pocket like secrets. Colleagues pitied her as the overworked newbie, unaware she was analyzing their workplace culture for a thesis that would later win awards. Maya befriended nurses like Carmen, who shared stories of burnout, and students like Jessica, whom she mentored discreetly. She saved lives quietly, spotting drug interactions, advocating for overlooked patients, and built alliances. But she also witnessed the dark side. Doctors like Williams who ruled through fear, protected by old boys' networks. By 2024, Maya's documentation was a powder keg. She had evidence of 47 incidents involving Dr. Williams alone. Plus, systemic issues like understaffing that amplified biases. Her Harvard thesis, Undercover Equity, documenting discrimination in urban ERs, was set for publication, but she waited for the right moment, a catalyst to force change. That night in the ER, when Dr. Williams slapped her, it wasn't just an assault. It was the spark. Maya's calm came from preparation. She knew the board meeting was her stage, her evidence, her weapon. As the elevator ascended, she reviewed her mental notes. Spreadsheets ready, footage circulating, legal angles sharp. Maya wasn't just the director's daughter. She was a force for justice, armed with 5 years of truth. Dr. Marcus Williams was the epitome of unchecked privilege in white coats. A product of elite medical schools and family connections, his uncle sat on the hospital board. He strode through Mercy General like he owned it. At 45, with a chiseled jaw, designer ties, and a reputation for brilliance under pressure, he commanded respect through intimidation. But beneath the facade was a history of toxicity. Colleagues whispered about his episodes, verbal lashings that left residents in tears, nurses requesting transfers. His racial bias was an open secret. Black and Latino staff were lazy or unqualified, while white interns got mentorship. "It's not racism," he'd say with a smirk. "It's standards." Protected by administration, complaints vanished. In 15 years, he'd faced 0 formal discipline, his connections a shield. Williams' reign began innocently, a talented ER doc with quick diagnoses, but power corrupted. He targeted troublemakers, especially women of color who challenged him. Maya wasn't his first victim. A Latina nurse quit after he called her border trash. HR buried it. His harassment escalated, demeaning nicknames, withheld resources, public humiliations. Staff enabled him. Dr. Peterson nodded along. Dr. Carter stayed silent, fearing reprisals. Williams thrived on hierarchy, viewing nurses as servants. "Medicine's a pyramid," he'd lecture. "I'm the apex." His bias rooted in upbringing, a wealthy, segregated suburb where those people were help, not equals. At Mercy, he weaponized it, slapping down inputs from ghetto nurses like Maya. That night, Williams saw Maya as easy prey, a young black nurse daring to question him. His slap was impulsive, born of rage at her poise. Unaware of her identity, he doubled down, smug in his invincibility. But his history was catching up. Maya's documentation included his patterns, ready to dismantle his empire. The trouble started with Mr. Harold Jenkins. A 68-year-old construction worker rushed in at 8:30 p.m., clutching his stomach, face ashen, vomiting bile. "It hurts like hell, Doc," he groaned as Maya hooked him to monitors. Vitals: blood pressure 90/60, heart rate 110, fever 101. Labs rushed. Elevated white count, amylase through the roof. Maya, with her sharp eye, suspected pancreatitis, possibly from gallstones. "We need fluids, NPO, and CT abdomen stat," she suggested to the team. But Dr. Williams, charting nearby, overrode. "It's just gastroenteritis." "Push Zofran and discharge in an hour." Maya paused. Protocol screamed otherwise. "Doctor, his lipase is 200. That's classic pancreatitis. Morphine could worsen it." Williams' eyes narrowed. The ER hummed. 50 people watching, including patients like Mrs. Garcia and her son. Tension built. Williams slammed his pen. "Nurse, your job is execution, not diagnosis." Maya held firm. "Team input saves lives." "The guidelines say," whispers started. Jessica filmed discreetly. Williams exploded. "Ghetto nurses know your place." Then the slap. Chaos ensued. Maya's composure shattered the ER's fragile peace. The slap's echo lingered as she stood, cheek burning, but eyes steady. Dr. Williams kicked the cart, debris flying. Gasps turned to shouts. "Assault!" Phones lit up. Jessica's stream surged. Maya smiled faintly, hand in pocket. Security hesitated. Staff divided. Carmen urged apology. Others defended Maya. Social media ignited. Justice for Maya trending. Hints of Maya's truth emerged. Missed calls from director, her heirloom watch glinting. Staff warned her, but videos spread. Viewer count, 4,100. Chaos mounted. Dr. Williams asserted control, paging admin. Maya called her father. Webb arrived, pale. Realization dawned. Texts revealed her identity. Horror spread. "Your daughter?" The boardroom tensed as Maya entered, Jessica streaming. Father James fumed. Maya presented. 5 years evidence, spreadsheets, legal risks. Footage played. Board voted reform, suspended Williams. Reforms rolled out. Suspensions, trainings, audits. Maya led as chief, transforming culture. 6 months later, Maya's model spread nationally. Testimony to Congress. Legacy, dignity for all. Change from crisis.